You have abundance of time in your hand. How have you chosen to use that time? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I hope today is going well. As a follow-up to yesterday's video, there are those who are genuinely clueless, as in they really do not know what they can do to take them from the current situation they are in of being desperate, being confused, being helpless, and really discouraged about how life is going generally. So before I talk about the main point of this video, I want you to look at this scenario. There are two types of farmers. One farmer calculates every scenario. What if the soil I planted the seed is not fertile? What if after I have planted the seed, insects eat up the seed before it begins to germinate? What if it finally germinates but weeds overtake the seeds? What if after the weeds have overtaken it, or the weeds do not even overtake it, a flood happens and then washes the seeds away? So the farmer gets paralyzed with all the what ifs, up to a point where he decides he is no longer going to plant that seed. But remember, this farmer is still hungry, right? Although he has enough food to eat in his home, but if he does not plant this seed in his house, what would happen in his hand? He will be left with either going to ask others to help him out, or go to, I don't know, steal, right? On the other hand, we have this farmer who, although he knows that, he does not know what fate awaits the seed when he plants it. He does what he knows is within his power. Number one, he ensures that he looks for an area that shows sign of things growing, right? If the area is with weeds, he clears the place, he plants his seed, he gives it a little water, comes back daily to check if the seed is making progress. When the seed has started germinating and he notices there are weeds around, he removes the weeds and then continuously keeps a close eye on the seed. Once it begins to bloom and he realizes, okay, I think this seed, it's time for me to apply fertilizer, he may decide to go and apply, cow dung or food leftovers that he had allowed to decompose and stuff. In both cases, what they had in the beginning was a seed. The first one allowed indecision, overanalyzation, overthinking to overwhelm him up to a point where he did not plant the seed. On the other hand, the second farmer also had the seed, but he knew that the only thing he has control over is what he has to do. So he went ahead, planted his tree, put his trust in Allah, did his part, preparing the land, removing the weeds, putting water, putting fertilizer, and at the end of the day, after a year, the seed had grown into a tree that now yielded the kinds of fruits that he wanted. When he started yielding fruits, he took some for his family, took some to the market to sell, even shared some with his people. So this is the similitude between you and the other person who currently knows they're in a desperate situation, but knows that the only thing they have is the seed. And that seed for you is the time that you have. Have you chosen to use that time? Have you chosen to use it to keep doing things that are not productive or are not going to help push you towards the direction of empowering yourself? Or are you going to use that time? Look for just one in-demand skill. When I say in-demand, I mean the skills that a lot of businesses are looking for today, but there are no abundance of people to deliver such services. It will take you maximum 3 months. In fact, 3 months is even too much. But let's be realistic. If you can dedicate 3 months of your time, pick one skill, learn this skill, practice this skill as though you're actually tending to real life clients. At the end of that 3 months, begin to pitch this skill to businesses who needs it. Where the businesses are is not your problem right now. The problem you have right now is Pick one skill and dedicate the next 90 days to learning it every day. In fact, 30 days in a day. Just use 30 days daily. Learn one skill. Whatever you learn for that day, practicalize it or implement it. Continue like that for 90 days. In the next 90 days, you will become so good at that when you now begin to pitch clients, you yourself, you have confidence in yourself that, okay, yes, I have learned this thing, and I'm pretty sure if I land a client, I'll be able to do something good. Even if you don't get a paid client, render this service for free so that you actually have a real-time case study to use in now looking for clients that will now pay you money. Like, this is how it works. We are gone past the era of going to meet your uncle or your dad or somebody to help you get a job and stuff. The jobs that are available today are not the jobs that your certificate has prepared you for. The nature of jobs today are fast changing, as in it is practically changing at a speed of light. So right now you really have no excuse whatsoever to keep saying you're stuck. In fact, if you're currently buying and selling something and it is not moving, go and learn a skill. Implement this skill. Use whatever it is you have of the resources you have. Use your seed. Plant your seed, water it, remove the weed, add fertilizer, and then check what will happen in the next 90 days. But as always, most of you will not take any action because you feel, I don't know, it's too hard. You're not sure. Like, whatever excuse you have, until you begin to do things differently, life or your situation will not change. It will keep being the way it is. Remember, as I said, everything that you currently do or you have done in the past is what has gotten you to where you are now. For you to be able to go to a different place, to get to a different point, to live for life to be different and more, more positive or more interesting, or for more money to come into your pocket, it means you need to embark on activities that are completely different from all that you're doing right now. Some of you be like, well, I have learned these skills. Yes, you have learned them. How many people have you sent messages to say you want to offer this service to them? How many pitches have you sent? That is where the magic lies. That you have learned the skill alone is not enough. You have to actively search for people who you can render these services to, so that Allah sees that yes, you're putting in your own effort and all that is left is for his own part to be played. Remember, inna waha la yughayyiru ma biqawmin hatta yughayyiru ma bi anfusihim. Allah does not change the situation of a people until and unless they change themselves. Right? So that change that you need to do of yourself is to begin to carry out actions different from the ones that you have been carrying out that has gotten you to this point. I hope you have taken at least one thing out of all of this English that I have spoken. Until next time, ensure you work with this advice I have given and do what your heart has already told you have to do. Even if your heart is beating like it is going to jump out of your chest, if you're afraid, you feel overwhelmed, whatever the case may be, just go ahead and do it. The worst thing that will happen is that they will say no. When they say no, you simply try again. And the more you try, remember what we said, the more you carry out an action, the more you want to carry out the action. And at the end of the day, the cumulative effect will leave even you surprised. So what are you waiting for? Enough of all the scrolling, enough of all the tutorial watching. Go and implement the things that you are learning. May Allah crown our efforts with success, make our path easy for us, and may he not leave us to ourselves. Take care till the next video.